I'm good to go next for the next one.
Huh?
I think half face, is that what we're gonna
Yeah,
do?
but not for this one.
No, I meant.
Oh, you meant the third one.
All right, let's do it. Sound is rolling, Mike?
And action.
I like the science of racism. Go with me here for a second. About a year ago, I had an opportunity to run an experiment. I started a position at the exact same time as a white male, and it was interesting to me to see the difference in the way that people responded to him and the way that they responded to me. I had to extend an additional energy, thinking about ways to not be aggressive. I had to do the exclamation mark. Thank you so much. Everything that we do in our emails has to be a part of the thing. But the truth is, that added effort to make ourselves seem less aggressive is a tax that we are paying. And so today, we continue our conversation on the minority tax here on Before We Wrap.
Oh, Lily, you guys can come through. We're gonna have makes me feel
Right, like I just actually
Well, you don't have to ask twice.
Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna ask a really quick question. What was like the most recent thing that happened to you where you were aware of race?
Where I was aware of race.
Yeah.
The most recent thing that's happened to me at work, just being in a scenario where I'm in a meeting. First of all, I'm the only Asian in the meeting. So, and like they know that I'm Filipino. I represent my Filipino heritage proudly.
That you
but
do.
It's all of a sudden, it's just like, yeah, we have this call center in the Philippines, Eli. And I'm just like, great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make small talk. And I think for these people, they feel like making that small talk is finding a way to tie, whatever impact they have in the company that's related to you racially.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't, like you said, they don't really connect with me in another way or capacity.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just wish, let's just chat.
Yeah.
Let's just have a conversation. And yes, I understand that maybe you're gonna say the wrong things at some point in time. And I do understand that it is gonna be taxing on me to have to educate, but sometimes I think, and I struggle with this too, it's like if I don't do it, then who will?
Yeah. Ellen Pompeo recently did, she was doing an interview. I don't know if anyone else saw that interview.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, wonderful. But I think what was really interesting about that was the position that she took that was like, this is actually my responsibility. We as a culture created this problem, and so it's really not on other people to educate us. Realizing that that isn't a tax that we should be paying. Like, we shouldn't be subsidizing other people's comfort by our discomfort. Like, that's just not okay. Fabian, what's a thing that made you feel aware of it very recently?
Well, just this Thursday, I was at work and we had a regular all hands with our broader team, and one of our leaders came on the call just to express his thanks for the sales, but he pivoted the conversation to talk about diversity and inclusion. And he said, we're doing great when it comes to gender diversity, but I have to be honest, we're not doing good when it comes to racial diversity. I was the only Black person in that room of at least 50 people.
50!
And there were probably maybe at least another 100 people on the call. Maybe there were another 5 Black people not in the room. And it was great to hear him say that, but also at the same time, I'm feeling the heat and feeling eyes on me being the only Black person. And so it was very interesting to be very aware of race in my work setting. I think I always feel that because I'm always in the diversity and inclusion conversations because I put myself there. But then also because it's top of mind for the company as well.
But also when you are, the only or one of very few representations there, then what you think becomes the representation for the entire group.
Oh, yeah.
And that can be problematic.
Yeah. So I think as me, I'm not just a woman, right? I'm a Black woman. I'm also a Black woman Christian. I'm also a Black woman, heterosexual woman. from the South, right? So there's intersectionality in all of our identities and what we bring to the table and what diversity ends up meaning for us and what the opinions that we have in the life experiences that we can bring to either a company or an organization or a study in my case, right? And so what that means is that oftentimes when you're brought in as the token Black, that means that you only are able to show one experience. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's really important as we have conversations about race, particularly here in New York City, where there's a huge immigrant community, that we just don't think about race within a monolith. We can't just say Black and think that we're speaking to all Black experiences, right? Because it's not like there are many experiences of Blackness.
Or Asian, for that matter. I mean, right. Jess, like, I'm thinking of you because you're navigating the world, like, with yourself as an Asian woman and all of the preconceptions that come on Asian women.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one thing that really stuck out for me was when I started undergraduate, you have like the whole group fair, club fair. So I was like, all right, I'm Chinese. I'm gonna go check out Chinese Student Association. I literally walked into the hall. Everyone was speaking either some version of like Canto or like Mandarin. And there I am, I only speak English. I'm already third generation for my father's side. Awkwardly stood there, tried to talk for like 15 minutes, and then finally gave up and was like, this just, like, no one wants to be my friend. Like, I'm Chinese and like I represent like Asian American for many situations that I'm in, but like here I can't even fit in within like other students. But I went to the Brazilian Students Association. My mom was born in Brazil. And like they opened me with like wide arms. So like I very much identified with like that culture and like what they were bringing. So I think it's just interesting, like being able to see that intersectionality and like how that like shapes and molds a person and like what their views are and the experiences that they've had.
Yeah, really interesting. I think the fact that like we do have so many diverse experiences, nevertheless, the way that we're perceived if you are the only one in the room. And this is why like diversity is so important, because we're gonna be paying, an additional tax, based on what people perceive us to be without them understanding the layers to us and without them understanding our true stories. Stay with us. It's time for Shady Shoutouts.
I like that. Or comfortable enough.
You ever meet someone and you think you knew their end from their beginning? The names sweetheart, honey, babe crooned so easily from your mouth. Before they did, when they wouldn't, without their consent, you knew you were right about them and who you were meant to be in their life. You were ready to lead them to places that they did not ask. Shout out to the objectifiers of women, stalkers and condescending men and women alike. You do you, but please, without me.
All right, we're ready for this? All right, let's do this.
I grew up in B-Wood, L-I-N-Y, and I know it ain't the best place, but I love it, man, I can't lie. A place infested with police and people throwing up gang signs, a place where I found proper education at the same time. Whenever they make the news, they doing what haters do, even though some things that they say is true. It would get me mad as hell when I turn to channel 12 and only tell but the things that ain't going well, and when we excel, they never pay attention. And if they do, it's something that the news fails to mention. What's your intentions? Did it keep my town from rising? Doesn't sound surprising since you're only recognizing all the violence. People are mindless when they hear something that's horrible. They think the only good from Brentwood is that it's affordable. But that's not it. There's more to know. Now let me take you somewhere that reporters won't. The basketball courts in North Elementary. It was more than just sports for all of my friends and me. A place that we could go to build our self-esteem and talk about dreams that we hope to achieve eventually. And they won't take it to the spots where we skated, where the cops tried to gate it, cause the cops always hated that was one of the places all of the skaters congregated. And just for that reason, my town should be top rated. A lot of people get mad at my hood, but you gotta take the bad with the good. A lot of people get mad at my hood, but you gotta take the bad with the good. Sometimes I get mad at my hood, but I gotta take the bad with the good. A lot of people get mad at my hood, but I gotta take the bad with the good. Yeah. Now tell someone to bring the cameras in and tell them how the soccer team were undefeated champions. Tell them how the Brentwood music program won a Grammy. Then tell me why the clowns from other towns can't stand me when you know they be the ones that's popping Xannies. And I can't begin to tell you all of the other shenanigans. But the truth is, ain't nobody good. So take a look at yourself before you hate on my hood. Yeah, it's messed up, isn't it? I tell you where I'm from and you assume that I'm ignorant. That's ignorance in itself. So you calling me ignorant? Well, I guess it makes two of us and we ain't all that different. And I could just imagine all the things you be picturing whenever I tell you about the place I was living in. But I bet if you visited, then you probably see that there's more to all the stories that you watch on TV. Guaranteed, and it's the same if you're from the Bronx, Brooklyn, or Queens. They only seeing what's wrong, but not how good it could be. But if you open your eyes, you'll find hope in the streets. And that's why the hood breeds some of the dopest MCs. Who knows, I might just be like EPMD to go from Brentwood, Long Island and make it to MTV. Or maybe VH1, I don't care how the fame comes. And when I get there, I bet they knowin' just where I came from. And that's from B-Wood, L-I, N-Y, and I. No, it ain't the best place, but I love it, man, I can't lie. B-Wood, L-I, N-Y, and I. No, it ain't the best place, but I love it, man, I can't lie. B-Wood, L-I, N-Y, and I.